Willow Creek Estates was everything a family could want in a neighborhood. Beautiful manicured lawns, well-lit streets, and a strict homeowners association, HOA, that made sure no one broke the rules. For years, it had been a haven for peaceful living. But everything changed when the residents of Willow Creek started receiving the letters. It began with the Wilson family at 47 Maple Drive. A plain white envelope with no return address appeared in their mailbox. Inside was a single sheet of paper with the words, "I see what you did. Stop, or everyone will know." At first, Mr. Wilson thought it was a prank. He laughed it off, threw the note away, and forgot about it. But the next day, another note appeared. Second warning. Last chance. Mr. Wilson felt a chill run down his spine. Who could have sent this? What had he done that anyone would care about? His mind raced. Years ago, there had been a dispute over some land he purchased behind his house. He had convinced the old owner, a widow named Mrs. Green, to sell cheap after she became sick. Could it be about that? Across the street, young couple Sarah and David Miller also received a letter. You lied about the dog. You broke the HOA rules. Pay the fine. Sarah's heart sank. Months ago, they had secretly kept a banned Doberman for 2 weeks before rehoming him out of town. No one should have known about that. They were sure they had hidden him well. But the letter writer knew. By the third day, nearly every house on Maple Drive and Oak Lane had received some version of the mysterious warning. Some were harmless. You leave trash cans out too long. Others were threatening. You stole from your neighbor's package. Your basement hides secrets. I know what happened that night in April. No one felt safe. The HOA called an emergency meeting. The clubhouse was packed with angry, anxious homeowners. This is an invasion of privacy, cried Mr. Patel. How does someone know so much about us? It has to be someone from the HOA board, muttered Mrs. Langley. Only someone close could know these things. Chuck Ramsey, the HOA president, pounded the table. I promise you, it's not the board. This is some sick prank. We'll catch the person responsible. But no one believed him. As the meeting ended, Sarah noticed something strange. The quiet old man from 13 Willow Lane, Mr. Beckett, sat in the back, scribbling notes in a little black book. He never came to meetings. Why was he here now? That night, she told her husband about Beckett. I think he's behind this. No one ever sees him. What if he watches us all the time? David shook his head. He's harmless. Just a lonely old man. But Sarah wasn't convinced. The next morning, the entire neighborhood woke up to the worst letter yet. This is your final warning. Obey the rules, or you will pay the price. And below the message, a photograph of the HOA clubhouse burning. Except the clubhouse hadn't burned. Yet. The HOA members rushed to the clubhouse, terrified they'd find it in flames. But it stood there, untouched. Chuck stared at the photo in the letter, trembling. It showed the exact same clubhouse, but its roof was caved in, blackened by fire. The photo was dated the next day. A threat or a prophecy, he muttered. The police were called. They searched mailboxes, questioned neighbors, but there were no fingerprints, no evidence. The letters kept coming. Then something new happened. Mr. Patel woke at 2 a.m. to see a figure standing in his backyard. A tall, thin man, wearing a dark coat and wide-brimmed hat. When he shouted, the figure vanished into the woods behind Willow Creek. The next day, Mrs. Langley found a small box on her porch. Inside were photographs of her kitchen, taken while she was asleep. Panic gripped the neighborhood. Kids weren't allowed outside. Curtains stayed shut. People talked about selling and moving away. But Chuck Ramsey had another idea. Let's confront Beckett, he declared. He's the only one who could watch us all without suspicion. That afternoon, Chuck, Sarah, David, and 3 others knocked on Mr. Beckett's door. The old man answered slowly. Mr. Beckett, what do you know about the letters? Chuck demanded. Beckett sighed, leaning on his cane. I warned you all. You never listened. What do you mean? The house at the end of the lane. 99 Willow Creek. You demolished it to build the clubhouse. But that land was cursed. Chuck frowned. That house was abandoned. A fire hazard. We tore it down years ago. Beckett shook his head. Not abandoned. A man lived there. Alone. Forgotten. You forced him out. He swore revenge before he died. His spirit remains. Sarah gasped. The Watcher. Beckett nodded. He sees everything. The letters are from him. Not me. You woke him when you disturbed his home. Now he watches. Chuck laughed nervously. Ghost stories? Really? But Beckett's eyes darkened. Look in the basement of the clubhouse if you dare. That night, against better judgment, Chuck, Sarah, and David snuck into the clubhouse with flashlights. They found the basement hatch, rusty and sealed. Breaking the lock, they crept down. At the bottom, they froze. The walls were lined with photographs. Hundreds of them. Every house, every family in Willow Creek. Faces sleeping, eating, unaware they were being watched. And, in the corner, a chair. A chair with straps. Beside it, an old, crumbling journal. Chuck flipped it open. The last page read, "They took my home. Now I watch theirs. Forever." A cold wind blew through the basement. The flashlight flickered. And then, a voice whispered, "Leave or burn." The next day, the clubhouse burned to the ground. No cause was ever found. The HOA disbanded. Families moved away. And 99, Willow Creek Lane, long gone, stood empty in memory but not in spirit. Because late at night, if you listen closely, you can still hear him watching, waiting,